Hello guys, this is Jonathan aka Jonty.
This is Johan.
And this is Simon.
And welcome to Ringside Perspective. Welcome to the very first episode of Ringside Perspective. In this show we will be talking about stuff that's happening in the WWE, current stuff, and the very first episode will be about Survivor Series 2015. So major spoilers ahead for Survivor Series 2015. So let's get right down to the very first match, which was the kickoff match between Bo Dallas, The Miz, The Ascension and Stardust versus the Dudley Boys, Neville, Titus O'Neil and Goldust. And returning Goldust, which was a nice little surprise for the kickoff show. Now, Joe, I'm gonna try and get your thoughts on this match.
Well, I think the match was pretty good. Nothing more to say about that.
Yeah, it set a very good tone for the pay-per-view, in being in that it was also a traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team match. So I think it's had a very good. It was a good kickoff show. They started off very well. We didn't, of course, watch all the recaps and the trailers and all that because we already knew what was going to happen on the show. But you just watched the match and yeah. So well, what have happened in there? Not very much. I think Victor got eliminated quite fast. Victor of the Ascension. And I think it ended up
quickly followed by Connor.
Yeah, quickly followed by also Connor. But I think also one of the other team, who was it that got eliminated quite fast? Neville, yeah. Neville was the victim of Bo Dallas and The Miz. Anyway, in the end, all on one team got eliminated, and the sole survivors were Goldust, Titus O'Neil, and the Dudley Boys. So quite a squash match from that team, from the face team. And let's move on to the next match then, if in case there's nothing more anyone wants to add.
No, not really. I think it was a actually great pre-show match with the only surprise return we had at this Survivor Series, also Goldust.
Yeah, definitely a very good tone and start off to the entire pay-per-view. Now, the first match of the pay-per-view. Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. Anyways, I think this is also a WWE Championship Tournament semifinals match, and it was ultimately won by Roman Reigns. So, let's get your thoughts on this.
Well, I expected this result quite a lot, since it started to be time for Roman Reigns to actually gain some recognition again. And defeating Del Rio, who hasn't been defeated since his return, well, yeah, quite a good start.
Yeah, and Del Rio did not make it easy on him. Not even a really. Little. It was a really good match, and Del Rio was on it pretty much the whole match. And we also saw the return of the cross arm breaker, which we haven't seen since he was back. So I think it's a very good match. It's felt like a proper, almost Raw main event, but still not much better than that. It was definitely not a top pay-per-view match, no, or a special event match. It's not even pay-per-views anymore.
No, but
still,
both guys saw quite exhausted.
Yeah, they were both quite exhausted. And it was
after the match.
Yeah, very good match. And I personally am a Roman Reigns fan. I know some people are not gonna like that, but I think the right man won this one. So, if we have nothing more to add, I'll move on to the next one. Match 2 was the other WWE Championship Tournament semifinals match. Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens.
Well, to me it looked like Owens was about to completely dominate this match.
Yeah, Owens dominated Ambrose for most part of the match until
the very end of the match.
Yeah, until we got to the end where Ambrose started to pick up some pace. And also I think he did like something 3 or 4 counters at the end before he hit the Dirty Deeds. Like Owens had this match almost won, but for Ambrose is quite a resilient guy, and he really had to give it to him. He did a great performance and stayed alive in the match. Absolutely fantastic match they put on. Brawn versus resiliency.
Yes.
Not much to say here, but yeah, a really good match. I would say that this one was a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah, perhaps.
And I would even go as far to say that this was the best match of the night, technically. In a wrestling kind of match.
Yes, technically.
So definitely they put on a great show, and it's going to be awesome to see what happens in the future. So, match number 3.
The second
traditional Survivor Series elimination match. So, let's see.
Well, I think this was the better elimination match of the 2 we saw.
Yeah, definitely. So, we had the New Day, Sheamus and King Barrett versus the Usos, the Lucha Dragons and Ryback. This one was very interesting because the New Day does what the New Day does.
Yeah, that's actually the only really bad thing about this match. Big E gets eliminated and his teammates leave with him.
Yeah, they come out in the beginning and they talk all smack like, yeah, well, we have enough gold on here. We have the King of the Ring, we have the Money in the Bank briefcase, we have the Tag Team Champions, we're gonna dominate this match. It took a while before we got the first eliminations. And the first one to go out was King Barrett. And after that we had Sin Cara being eliminated. And after that I would say Jey Uso got eliminated.
Yeah.
So it took a while before we got the first elimination, but after that they came quite rapidly. And the next one to get eliminated was Big E, and when Big E got sent off to the locker room, both the other members of New Day went with him back to the back. And so therefore Sheamus was left alone against 3 guys on the other team.
Yeah, and, Sheamus, yes.
He actually put on quite a good effort, but he didn't stand a chance.
No, clearly not.
And in the end, the sole survivors were it was Jimmy Uso, Kalisto, and Ryback. So, yeah, and I don't think I have too much to say about this match. It was definitely better than the kickoff match, but still not. It was not a main event match. This was a filler match.
Yeah.
It was kind of disappointing that the traditional Survivor Series matches were filler, both. So, but still, some of the other matches more than made up for it, I would say. Next match, the Women's Championship.
The Divas Championship.
Divas Championship, fuck it. I think Women's Championship, they really should get rid of that ugly piece of shit of kind of belt. I hate it.
Yeah.
They should definitely try and do as NXT. NXT has renamed their belt to the Women's Championship, but it's still that ugly pink shit they always go with. So, but still, anyways, the match. Paige versus Charlotte. So, what do you have to say about this match?
Well, I actually don't have so much to say.
No.
I really don't remember too much of what happened in this match, except the end, where Paige submitted.
Yeah, there weren't much, a lot of stuff happening, to be honest. They had a good back and forward, normal kind of match that they always have. There was one spot though where Charlotte tried to spear Paige off the barricade. It looked kind of awkward. Wasn't really like the action spilled out to the outside, and then Paige started throwing Charlotte into the barricade, and then got up on the barricade, and Charlotte got up on the barricade and speared Paige off. But it looked kind of awkward, like it didn't really go as planned, to be honest. It more looked like some kind of shove.
More.
She just shoved her off the edge, so. But still, it looked. It
average.
was not a bad match, but I wouldn't say it was a good match either.
Oh, it's pretty an average match.
And in the end, they locked on the figure eight, and Paige tapped out, and the winner was Charlotte. And I think this is definitely a beginning or a continuing to a championship reign that will go on for a long time. They are definitely pushing Charlotte to bits. She's gonna be holding on to that championship for a long time. I don't think she's gonna lose it anytime soon.
Nope.
Baby Flair. That's who she is. Next, and here we have Simon, who can come in and talk a little bit since he joined us while we were watching this. So, Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler.
This was the first match I saw, and I don't know, it was a pretty average match.
Average? I wouldn't even call it average. It was sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't really that good.
Well, most of us here aren't fans of Tyler Breeze nor Dolph Ziggler anyways.
Not really. Like, when they came out, I knew that this is gonna be a match that they get a couple of minutes and then finish, and it was quite obvious that Tyler Breeze would win because it was his first special events match.
Yeah, his pay-per-view debut.
Yeah, they've had some kind of shitty rivalry going on back and forth that never even have felt like
it's
legit.
It's just as bad as the feud that Ziggler had with Rusev before this one.
Yes, this
which
one,
I think are both pathetic feuds.
Yeah, it's really not good at all. But so I hope they put this one to rest quite soon so we can see some more, because I know Ziggler can do better than this.
I have one thing to add before we go further. If the new look that Dolph Ziggler has had in this match will be his further look, well, I kind of like it. It's better.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit darker with the black
bandana.
Yeah, and everything. So, but I don't think it's gonna keep it. That was most likely just a special outfit for Survivor Series. But you never know. He desperately needs some character development.
Yeah.
So, next match. Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Undertaker and Kane.
Ooh, yeah. Undoubtedly the most
hyped
match of this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was really hyped for this. To be honest, it didn't turn out as, a great match, a wrestling match. This was more of a gimmick match.
Yeah.
Which means that it was more for entertainment than the actual wrestling going on in the ring. And you would kind of expect that with these two teams. Like, the match started off with the entire Wyatt family coming out, and then Eric Rowan jumped into the ring to try and attack Undertaker and Kane.
Which failed
quite miserably because he got double chokeslammed to hell. We did not see him for the rest of the match. After that, Bray Wyatt chose to enter the match himself with Luke Harper, which seemed a little bit weird because we were all expecting him to choose Braun Strowman and go in with him into the match. But I guess that Braun Strowman is not really
an experienced wrestler yet.
Yeah, I think that's a problem because Undertaker's body is not in the best of shape, and Braun cannot carry the Undertaker through the match.
No.
So I think the reason why Braun Strowman wasn't chosen by Bray Wyatt is because of booking. He simply is not a good enough wrestler to wrestle the Undertaker. But anyways, I think they started off, kind of classic with the match, going back and forth. And Undertaker and Kane kept the upper hand all the way until the first interference by Braun Strowman.
Which ended with us seeing Braun Strowman through the table.
Yeah, that was not the first. I think the first time he hit, he attacked Kane outside while the referee wasn't looking, and then he also tried to distract the Undertaker by getting up on the ropes. But after a while in the match, Undertaker jumped out after taking out both Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, and he went down, and Kane joined him, and they chokeslammed Braun Strowman through the announcer tables. Definitely the first time we have seen Braun Strowman on his back.
Yeah, that was a great moment in the match.
Yeah, I think that was by far the highest moment. Then when the Undertaker got back into the ring, as he was the legal man, he got hit by the Sister Abigail, but luckily Kane managed to stop the pin. And the whole match then ended with, I think first we had a double choke slam on both the family members.
Harper and Wyatt.
Both on Harper and Wyatt. And finally, Undertaker hit the Tombstone Piledriver on Luke Harper, and that after that they got the 3 count. It was quite a short match, very gimmicky. There was that one spot with Bray doing his spider crawl thing, and I think Harper was crawling towards Kane, and both Kane and the Undertaker sat up at the same time. So very gimmicky. But still, I think they put on a really great show, and I especially enjoyed seeing Braun Strowman go through the table. But anyways, I think it's definitely interesting to see, and I think we might have 1 or 2 matches left from The Undertaker, but in my prediction, his last match is going to be this WrestleMania in Texas, before the biggest crowd ever. There's a big chance that we will see The Undertaker walk to the ring for the very last time, and I can't wait to see that match. But it's gonna be sad that we don't get The Undertaker anymore, but the stuff that this man has given to the business is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to call it quits.
Yeah, before. I actually hope that he calls it quits before his body forces him to call it quits. So, now we have the final match of the night, Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose, friend versus friend, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Thoughts?
I think technically it was a pretty interesting match between the two, which I would expect because it was the last match and it's for the World Heavyweight title. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say except for what happened after the match, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that later. Yeah. Well, if I will get to the end of this match this quickly, I pretty much expected Reigns to take this. But they still remained friends after the match.
Yeah, which was a surprise. I was kind of expecting a heel turn from one of the guys in this match.
Yeah, mostly Ambrose.
Yeah, it seemed because Ambrose had been acting a little bit unusual in the last few weeks. He has
As
been
to say the Ambrose Asylum gimmick he's been talking about.
Yeah, there's something has changed. They have definitely tried and develop Ambrose's character, and to be honest, the match was kind of short but you have to take into account that these guys had gone through one match each beforehand in the beginning of the show.
Both those matches did push them to their limits.
Yeah, so it did not take long before we saw some fatigue from both guys in the match, and they very quickly went to the big moves.
Yep.
Anyways,
the match ends
with Reigns winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
In Reigns' classic way of finishing a match, the spear.
With the spear, yeah. I actually think that, also Ambrose actually kicked out of a spear early in the match, but that spear was kind of weak.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
Also,
about the weakest spear I've ever seen, actually.
Yeah, and you didn't see when Edge was active. Those spears were weak, if anything was weak. But, anyways, Ambrose hit Roman Reigns with a what is it called?
Dirty Deeds.
The Dirty Deeds, and Reigns kicked out.
Yeah.
So that was another good spot. Anyways, Roman Reigns takes it, and he gets his first WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And the normal celebrating with all the confetti coming up and explosions and everything, just celebrating and him. And I actually think the crowd's reaction was quite good for Reigns winning. I was kind of expecting some boos, but I really couldn't hear them. But then we get to what happened after the match. So after the confetti is falling, suddenly we hear, "Behold the King of Kings."
Yep.
And Triple H comes out. He goes into the ring and decides
to congratulate
Reigns
on his victory.
He reaches out his hand, and of course Reigns completely refuses to shake it and spears Triple H. But as soon as he turns around, boom! Brogue kick.
A brogue kick from Sheamus, who also cashes in
the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah. So what happens?
Yep, he starts by trying to pin Reigns after the first brogue kick, and Reigns kicks out. Then Reigns gets up to his feet, and he quite clearly runs away to try and set up the spear. And when he comes back around to deliver the spear, he gets another brogue kick, and that's it.
That reign is over.
Yeah, that reign was over. So, Sheamus is, after Survivor Series, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
But our predictions say that Sheamus won't be the champion for too long.
Most likely not. Something is gonna happen. What I do want to talk about now is Roman Reigns as the guy he is. Like, after the Shield broke up, like Seth Rollins and Ambrose, they got new music, new attires, new personalities. The one thing I did not like was the fact that Reigns is still using the Shield's music.
Yes, slightly edited, but that's barely anything. He's still using the same clothes, with, of course, some modifications. And he's still entering through the crowd like the Shield used to do. Yeah.
Like, I think it's really stupid to keep all those Shield gimmicks on Roman Reigns, because he's never gonna be able to build his own character from that.
No.
They need to do some character development on him. And yeah, I think what they were trying to do is to keep like the Shield hype on Roman Reigns, but it failed miserably. It pretty much had the opposite effect.
And I hope that tonight on Raw we will actually see something from Ambrose regarding the last night's match, and hopefully maybe even him turning heel, but we don't know.
But it's definitely gonna have to take something really big in order to turn Ambrose heel and the fans actually believing in it. But It's definitely gonna be interesting. Do you guys believe that we will see Roman Reigns cashing in his rematch clause tonight on Raw?
Yeah, the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, but
TLC.
will he cash it in at TLC, or do you think he will cash it in on Raw?
Well, most likely. Well, I most likely think TLC.
Yeah, most likely, but I think he's gonna be quite hyped to get that much, to get his rematch. Oh, sorry. I think that so there's gonna be TLC. So to be honest, it could go some other way. These are the matches it could be. It could be Sheamus versus Roman Reigns in a chairs match. It could be in a ladder match with the championship above the ring, or it could be in a TLC match or a TLC match with the championship above the ring. It's gonna be interesting to see, because it's not gonna be a tables match. That thing is reserved for the tag team championship.
Yeah.
The Dudley Boys. You can't have a tables match and you can't have Dudley Boys without a tables match.
Impossible.
So we're definitely gonna see a tag team championship match with the Dudley Boys in a tables match.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. And to be honest, I think the United States Championship needs to be defended, and the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, the Intercontinental Championship, just like the Divas Championship, the Intercontinental Championship will not switch owner for a long time to come.
No, our prediction, like Kevin Owens will hold that championship forever. That who's even gonna beat that guy for that championship? There's no one gunning for that championship that's good enough to beat Kevin Owens.
No.
But what we will see, Kevin Owens. I think that Kevin Owens would not like a ladder match.
No.
But a chairs match would be right down his alley.
Yes.
So
Chairs
most likely we will see a chairs match for the Intercontinental Championship. That leaves the US Championship to be defended in a ladder match.
Yes.
That's at least our prediction, and the WWE is way too cowardly to put the Divas Championship in a hardcore match.
Yep.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
So it's gonna be some kind of regular match, but I wonder who's gonna be next to challenge. To be honest, I think they might go with either Naomi or Tamina.
Not
Because
impossible.
they are saving the Sasha Banks match for WrestleMania, I think. We're gonna see Charlotte versus Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, and they're gonna get some kind of really long, good match going.
Yeah.
They're gonna get some time to do a good thing there. But anyways, I'm definitely looking forward to Raw tonight, and we're gonna make an episode, of course, on that and recap the events of that. But yeah, everything so far. So let's try and give a grade for Survivor Series from 1 to 10. What do you think, based on the part you saw, Simon? What grade would you give this pay-per-view?
Well, I only saw like 3 matches, but I would say it's kind of a 6-7. It wasn't anything really special. I'm thinking of last year's Survivor Series, which I thought was really great, and it didn't really live up to that.
Yes, Johan?
Well, I'd like to give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's not awesome, but not the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen either. It's to me, it's a pretty basic, a bit above average pay-per-view.
Yeah, I would give it 7 out of 10 also. If the traditional Survivor Series match would have had a little more implication, a little more like effect, then maybe I would go higher. And also, like, or actually I'm gonna actually give it an 8, because one big thing happened that will affect the future going forward, and that is Sheamus cashing in and joining the Authority. Therefore, I'm gonna put it up to an 8, because it matters. This pay-per-view matters.
Yeah, in that way. It does, but not too much else.
No.
Except that.
It's definitely...
Perhaps the return of Goldust might affect.
Yeah, but that was on the kickoff show, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. Anyways, I think that's all for now. Thank you everyone for watching this video or listening to this video, whatever you do, and make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for future videos, and we will see you next time.